April is Financial Literacy Month and a great time to share financial advice with some teens and youngsters. One national organization that works to do that is Junior Achievement. The president and CEO, Jack Kosakowski, joins us by satellite from Denver with tips on how to get that conversation started. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Cheryl.
Good to see you. This is probably one of the most important conversations we can have with our children, isn't it? Talking about money and financial literacy.
It's absolutely critical to every young person and every adult. So yeah, there isn't a better way for parents to spend their time.
You recently did a survey and have some results to talk to us about. What was the most surprising thing to you that came out of this survey?
Well, Cheryl, we conducted this survey in cooperation with AIG, and it's an annual thing that we do. So we start to see trends, but one of the biggest surprises that we saw this year was that, 75% of the students list as a primary goal going to college and paying for college, which isn't a big surprise. But what was very surprising this year is that only 50% of that same group of students identified financial independence from their parents as a goal, which is a major change from what we've seen in the past.
And could that be because they don't even understand what financial independence is?
It absolutely could be. It could be that, they've, in their young ages, have already lived through some tough economic times. We saw with the millennial generation that, is out in the workforce now, that boomerang effect where they go back to live with parents. So becoming more acceptable, but I do think it's probably a concern that they don't know how to manage money.
Yeah. Here in Virginia, the Department of Education actually requires a financial literacy curriculum, at least one credit for all students through the years of high school. So they get a little bit of this information. But when parents are talking to children about financial literacy, how do we start that conversation? What should we be including in that conversation?
Well, Cheryl, it's an important conversation for parents to have with their young people. And our recommendation is that, first and foremost, make it relevant to the students, which means being age appropriate. We believe that you should start as early as elementary school, working with your students. And you can do things like creating chores around the house, which creates responsibility, but also then an allowance, which gives them the opportunity to create their own little mini budget, to start to understand that they cannot spend more money than they make. It's basic economics that what is the difference between needs and wants? And so parents can easily have that conversation. And then as the young person matures, they get to be the age of the automobile. That's still a very relevant thing to kids. And talking to them about the cost of owning an automobile, putting gas in it, all the things that are associated. So that starts to connect the dots for students in terms of how they need to plan ahead from a financial standpoint.
And this is also an opportunity for we as adults to continue our financial literacy education, because we learn as we teach our children, because we probably have a little bit of gap or two in our education as well when it comes to money and finances.
Absolutely, Cheryl. In past surveys that we've done, we've seen absolutely that, while the parents are the first source of information for kids about managing money, parents are very uncomfortable in having the conversation because they never really got the information. So this is a wonderful opportunity for your listeners to go to tools that they can find. And the one, of course, I would recommend is you go to ja.org. And there are a whole bunch of lesson plans and ideas for parents in terms of how they can teach their child about budgeting and managing money. And in that, I guarantee you that the parents will learn something as well.
Well, it sounds great. Well, thank you for talking to us briefly today, and congratulations on Junior Achievement's upcoming 100th anniversary next year.
Thank you very much, Cheryl.
You're very welcome. And for more information, we'll put a link on our show website at WTVR.com/VTM. That'll be available by early this afternoon.